What's going on, everyone? So this Jonathan Kuminga situation with the Golden State Warriors is getting ugly, and it's getting ugly pretty fast. So Warriors upped their ante to 2 years, $45 million instead of the 2 years, $40 million. And Jonathan Kuminga still says no. Based on reports, he believes that the Golden State Warriors really hurt and stunted his growth over the last few years, and he does not wish to return to them. However, problem is you have two teams that are active in trying to acquire Jonathan Kuminga. That's the Phoenix Suns and the Sacramento Kings. According to reports, Jonathan Kuminga wants to go to Sacramento. He's had meetings with Sacramento. He's in regular contact based on these reports with Sacramento. He prefers to be traded to Sacramento at this point, but all the packages that Sacramento has been willing to offer, the Golden State Warriors aren't interested in at this time. The Sacramento Kings don't want to trade Keon Ellis. They don't want to trade a Keegan Murray. They basically made those two off limits in a Jonathan Kuminga trade. But the problem is the Golden State Warriors don't want Malik Monk or DeMar DeRozan. So they're kind of at this crossroads. Basically, the Sacramento Kings are only offering Devin Carter as well as a Dario Saric plus a protected first, where we got the recent report on the Phoenix Suns package, which is Royce O'Neal, Nick Richards, in 4 seconds. So they're willing to give up 4 seconds, Nick Richards and Royce O'Neal. And this is per Mark Spears, who reported the Suns package. Right? Supposedly that's not enough to get it done as well. Problem is neither team is really interested in raising the offers because they know, like, hey, he's not going to stay. Like, worst case, he takes the qualifying offer. That hurts both parties. And then you lose him for nothing in the offseason because he's not going to stick around. He's just going to go sign somewhere and you're going to get nothing. So wouldn't you rather have 4 seconds and a Nick Richards who could slot in and help give you depth at the center position, which is something that you need? Royce O'Neal gives you a 3-and-D wing. Everyone's happy. Everyone's winning. Sacramento, they're looking at it as we're giving you a first. Yes, it's protected, but still a first. And you're getting a young kind of point of attack guy in Devin Carter, who's 23 years old, as well as Dario Saric, who was good for you during that run, right? And Sacramento knows that, hey, Jonathan Kuminga prefers to go here. So they're at this kind of, blinking contest of like, who's going to blink first? Which team is going to blink first? And Brett Siegel kind of round this out. Brett Siegel said, the bottom line is all of this, he said, she said stuff with Jonathan Kuminga is that the Warriors won't settle. Their offer is out there, and it's very likely won't change. No sign and trade has come close to being appealing for them, which leaves Kuminga with limited options. Right now, the 3 paths are take the 2-year, $45 million offer, settle for the $8 million qualifying offer, which dooms both sides, wait and hope there is some sort of compromise. However, Kuminga continues to signal to Golden State that he doesn't want to be back and wants a fresh start elsewhere. Unless by some magical chance the Kings and Suns can significantly increase their offers, which they won't, there isn't going to be a resolution. So again, as you can see, right, they know that, hey, we're not going to raise our package because we don't have to, and you don't want the guys we're willing to trade. And, Sacramento's looking at it as like, we'll figure it out. We'll just sign them next season, right? And then, you look at kind of this whole situation, which also was added by Brett Siegel. It seems like the only 2 ways Kuminga can get a fresh start is by signing with the Warriors and being moved before the trade deadline, or accepting the qualifying offer and pick his new destination next year in 2026. This has turned into a very messy situation for all parties. So again, this is becoming a mess. Well, Tyler, why are you talking about this on a Lakers channel? Because I think the Lakers, and I kind of touched on this in a previous video, I think the Lakers could help kind of be the bridge. Talked about this in the Devin Carter video, right? That Lakers have several guys. They need to clear salary space. They need to open up roster spots. And I've talked about, right? Lakers are looking for a consolidation trade. I don't want a consolidation trade that doesn't bring anything back. I'd rather a consolidation trade that brings something of value back, right? Well, if the Lakers could pull something off to where maybe they could be the third team, and maybe the Golden State Warriors would be a team that's more interested in guys like Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, right? Some veteran guys that have some experience that can help you win now, right? Those two guys are better than Devin Carter, and because Devin Carter isn't bad, but he's inexperienced, he's young, he's going in a year or two, and he can't shoot. He's a good defensive piece, good point of attack guy, but he's not really a shooter, right? So for the Lakers, they come in and be like, hey, we have Gabe Vincent, who they need to get off of. Hey, we have Maxi Kleber, we need to get off of. Maybe you can work something into a deal where the Lakers could free up cap space, right? Could maybe even get an asset, even if it's like a second round pick or something in the deal for kind of being the middleman, right? Especially if they can. So essentially, Jonathan Kuminga goes to Sacramento, right? And the Warriors would get back pieces from the Lakers, and maybe, maybe if they still want a Dario Saric, then fine, you can do a Dario Saric too. But essentially, right, Lakers would take back Devin Carter in the deal as kind of like the, hey, you got to send somebody back. Okay, we'll take Devin Carter, 23 years old, year two, very good defensive player, very good point of attack guy, but needs some development, needs some growth. It's $5 million. Maybe the Lakers send out a Maxi Kleber and a Dalton Knecht in that deal, and maybe they get back some type of asset. Maybe Sacramento would be willing to pony up and give that. I mean, you could even do the same thing with the Phoenix Suns, and I might actually talk about this with the Phoenix Suns too, but I'll touch on that in another video because I want to focus on the Kings. Because the reason I want to focus on the Kings primarily is because Jonathan Kuminga prefers to go to Sacramento. And so if you can find this path where it's like, hey, you maintain flexibility, maybe even like Dalton Knecht is going in the deal in the trade. Maybe you're even getting a player from the Warriors or something. Maybe you're kind of expanding this trade to the point. But to me, ideally, I don't hate the idea of like you bring in a Devin Carter, you free up potentially, like, depending on how much, because Sacramento is $7.5 million above the first apron. Now, according to reports, they offered 4 years, $90 million. So basically $22.5 million a year. If they pull off that trade, no matter what, Sacramento is going to have to buy somebody out. That's where the DeMar DeRozan to Miami for Terry Rozier in 2 seconds comes from. And then those 2 seconds, maybe that gets rerouted to the Lakers, right? Or maybe one of them gets rerouted to the Lakers. So you get like a Devin Carter and you get a second as like a, hey, thanks for being the middleman. Because the Lakers have the expiring contracts. They also have guys that might be more appealing to the Warriors in order to pull that off, right? Warriors would probably still get the first because I'm sure the Warriors would want the first because they're the ones giving up, the young player. But the Warriors could get back, like I said, a Gabe Vincent and a Maxi Kleber, maybe a Dalton Knecht. That could be more enticing for them. The Lakers could get back Devin Carter, maybe some seconds, right? Maybe the first domino is DeMar DeRozan, right? So like what they could do is come to the agreement, boom, they got that agreed to, and then the Sacramento Kings could then ship DeMar DeRozan to the Miami Heat. Right? Miami then ships Terry Rozier to Sacramento, that is who they would buy out, right? But supposedly they get 2 seconds in the deal. So maybe the Lakers could get 1 or 2 of those also for being the middleman. So basically what the Lakers would get is, an asset, a young player, and potentially, depending on how high these teams are willing to go, I mean, you could get anywhere from $5-6 million to anywhere to like 12 plus million roughly that the Lakers could clear off their cap sheets in order to now go sign guys, especially with all these guys that are being rumored. Chris Middleton, you have a Nikola Vucevic, Jeremy Grant is a guy that is kind of a name that has been floating around. Hey, and that's not counting the guys that all of a sudden start getting bought out as you progress. And also on top of that, the Lakers would now, like, let's say just for simplicity, right? Let's say it's Dalton Knecht, Gabe Vincent, and Dalton Knecht and Gabe Vincent. It's $15 million. They're taking back 5. They clear $10 million off the books, but they get back a second and Devin Carter, like I mentioned, right? Ideally, I'd like to get 2 seconds, but let's say a second in Devin Carter. Well, now that gives you 2 tradable seconds now, on top of Maxi Kleber, Rui Hachimura, etc., that now you could go maybe 2 in Andrew Wiggins and maybe pull that deal off, especially if they land DeMar DeRozan. So it could, and this is why I keep talking about Sacramento, because Sacramento could be the first domino to fall and tip over that leads to all these other dominoes falling and tipping over. Right? So now the Lakers could end up, pulling off some deal to where maybe they get a couple assets, get a young player, package that stuff to now go get a player such as an Andrew Wiggins. And, maybe they, at that point, especially if let's say Nikola Vucevic and a Chris Middleton, or let's say DeAnthony Melton's like, I want to go, right? Like, if you can get these guys, then it makes sense to go all in for Andrew Wiggins, because now you bring in Andrew Wiggins, you already have the cap space stuff, you open up another roster spot. Again, you could essentially, in the end result, right, essentially turn all of this into like an Andrew Wiggins, a Nikola Vucevic, a Chris Middleton, and somebody else, a DeAnthony Melton or something like that. Now you're probably one of the best, if not the best teams in all of basketball. You're deep, you're versatile, you're talented, right? And it could all kind of stem from that first domino that, again, is Sacramento. That domino tips over, that leads to the other dominoes. So kind of look at it, think it's kind of interesting. Again, just kind of an idea, because Sacramento really wants to get this done. The Jonathan Kuminga wants to get this done as well. Maybe the Lakers kind of come in and be that middleman, be that middle team in order to make it work. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate